Welcome to the Trinity Tech Cast. This is episode what, boy? 57? Yes, 57. My voice fighting me because I had a long drive today. What's that?
Yeah. I was going to say because you didn't get your Sunday nap.
Sleep my Sunday nap. The reason I didn't get my Sunday nap is because I had to make a house call to a particular client who requires very, very detailed and patient computer assistance. And so this was set up for a long time. So I had to drive to Diego Martin from Arima. And I was sleepy because it's my Sunday sleep time. You know what's my go-to thing when I fall asleep and driving? Yes.
I don't know.
You have no idea.
Music loud.
I fallen asleep there easy. Same way, easy. I have to eat nuts.
Eat nuts?
Nuts,
Like you want the shell? Yeah, the shallot or just not any kind of nuts?
Any kind of nuts, it doesn't matter, but I just have to eat it very slowly. So one pack of peanuts, I could make that stretch for like a half an hour. Because I just taking one, breaking it in half, and then biting off one piece and biting the next piece. And I kid you not, I stayed up. Like whatever sleep I had, it gone. Yeah. And I have no idea why. So
you always have like some spear nuts in your car.
Yes, you have emergency nuts in the glove compartment. I telling you. I over the years, I tested in so many different ways. I could be bone tired, dead tired, driving in the night, coming home 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, there hardly any reason for me to come home 4 o'clock in the morning again for anything. But yeah, I just had to eat that nuts very, very slowly. Or somebody had indulged me in a very, very, very riveting conversation. Yeah. I had a want to talk to you real bad. But I don't think not much people could do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, what you just do when you fall asleep? Loud music?
I had to put a song on that I know and I like. And when I say I know, it's a song that, you can't help but try to sing along. Like, that. If it's a song that I like, but I don't really know it. And it's like, if it's a song I like and I know, and, it has certain songs you hear that you just have to sing along and it's keep it up. Yeah, like that.
All right. Yeah, I have zero hope. If I do have nuts, the only other thing is to eat incessantly. Just keep eating. That's all. I guess the chewing maybe that's something. And probably has somebody out there that does go through that. I'm sure they just have to eat or slap themselves. I slapped myself a few times.
I know some people. When they're falling asleep, those be like, time to drive faster. So you can chill faster. But that could end. That's risky.
Yeah, that's risky. All right, so we are going through our day today, which is the 17th? Today's the 17th of March. And we are going to talk about, one major big thing, but we had to break it up into two parts, which is TikTok may get banned / sold. I'll tell you why we say banned or sold, because the news kind of running with the word banned, but technically speaking, they're basically being forced to sell. And then we will talk about how that may affect the Caribbean if they don't sell, which I think that they will do because they have no choice. And then we'll talk about the implications in the first part. And the last thing we have to talk about is there's an actual AI software engineer, and we was laughing when they was taking the jobs of the waiters and the restaurant and the call center and thing. But will we laugh when we see that a software engineer could be replaced also? I don't know. The joke don't become a joke until it hit home, until you realize it's your job they're taking. So let's go into our first topic, which is TikTok may get banned / sold. Right, so you see my headline there, up by exclamation mark, because that is what happened 4 days ago. Everybody was talking about that. Everybody.
That exclamation mark could mean not TikTok is not going to be banned.
Yes, that is one way to put it. I agree with you in computer terms.
Yeah.
Not equal to, yeah. TikTok not equal to ban. Yes, no one when men doing coding and thing, there's exclamation mark is a joke, Right. So, the bill passed Wednesday by the House requiring TikTok owner ByteDance to sell or face a U.S. ban is most existential threat. This is according to TheGuardian.com. The House of Representatives passed a bill on Wednesday that would require TikTok owner ByteDance to sell the social media platform or face a total ban in the United States. The legislation now moves to the Senate, where its likelihood of passing is uncertain. But with landslide support of the House, 352 Congress members voted in favor of the bill and only 65 against. It's clear that TikTok is facing the biggest existential threat in the U.S. And then the article goes into different things, right? So we'll go through the article piece by piece. But hot take of it, how you felt when you heard the news about it?
I mean, I would have probably felt differently a year or two ago, when I was heavily involved in TikTok. So but now, to be honest, I really don't use TikTok that much, But like, if I put that hat back on, being in the mix and thing, I mean, yeah, it would have be like for us in Trinidad. I'm not sure it wouldn't be banned for us. It's just.
Well, we'll talk about the Caribbean just now. We'll talk about the Caribbean. Yeah, well, my view of it was coming, and I want to know what did they see for 300 of them, or almost 300 of them, to vote in favor of it, both Democrats and Republicans.
So when they talk about hot takes, right? I'm not sure if you saw the clip of Ted Cruz, talking about the more or less the reasons why, right? And one of his, when he was speaking, he was saying that, TikTok, the Chinese TikTok app, the app that's available to the kids in China, they have they see different types of content, it's more educational and stuff like that, educational, right? He was going on about, why they have this app and this is what they show to their children, but yet in the US, the TikTok app that's available to them promotes videos on self-harm, and he also went and said something else, that the videos promote Israel propaganda, and it was like, okay, that's what high up on your list of you believe
that I think we spoke about this sometime already, yeah? You believe that the Chinese version has a different algorithm to the rest of the world version?
Yeah. And I think I saw it. Another thing is called TikTok. It's called something else. But yeah, they get different content. I mean, it's China. They would, filter the type of content. And I think it has time limits for different age groups and stuff like that, So my
was the name of TikTok in general?
It has it could.
Keep talking.
But like I was going to say, next hot take is like, the fact that he said that certain thing about propaganda. And next thing could be that, all the other social media platforms, like the big ones, like Facebook.
Douyin, is it Douyin is the name?
Yeah, Douyin, yeah. That name sounds familiar, yeah. All the other big platforms, Google, Apple, Facebook or Meta, right? They are mostly US based. And let's say you have a 3-letter agency that, want a particular narrative or if they want something not to be pushed, or if they have a certain directive and they went to these platforms and, they gave a certain, like say during some type of event or some political event or whatever, this certain narrative real harmful, you should probably look at tuning stuff back, so even if the whole stuff with Israel and Palestine or whatever, I mean the mainstream news medias, they have a certain narrative or whatever, but on TikTok they don't have no type of control, and TikTok for me, at least from what I see online, the influencers and the people in the US are talking out against it. TikTok is a platform where they come and they're able to see not just opinions from one side or from the US, but they're exposed to opinions and different worldviews from, people all over the world, not just the US or China, but you see stuff from the Caribbean, you see from Africa, Europe, so it's kind of unfiltered in a sense.
All right. Okay. So now that I believe that, the version of TikTok that is in the Chinese government, okay, cool. They do have a different TikTok. I ain't gonna fight that. So they control what they see. And the US version now, there is no control over what is seen. So technically the US version just showing what people want to see.
Yeah, and it don't have any filter. And that in itself could be a problem. Because it's right. For me, like it or not, certain platforms, it are certain things you really cannot get away with showing, you could post it, but your traffic might get shuttled. It are certain things or topics that, kind of taboo. But on TikTok, it are certain things that would come up on your For You page that would not come up on Instagram or on YouTube. I'll put it that way.
Okay, I agree with you. I accept. So then they justified. America, the US is justified that they are exposing themselves to a possible threat because it is possible to control it, but you purposefully don't control it with the rest of the world.
Yeah, but that's a form of control in itself. If you're trying to control what people could see, you're trying to kind of form an opinion based on what you want them to see or you don't want them to see. Instead of, it's like information, right? You have information or free will, you in terms of knowing what is good and what is bad. Expose people to the two and you have to make an informed decision. So the US, say this ban is like, they only want people to see things that paint in the US in a good light. And that is all they want them to see. And TikTok kind of showing the good and the bad and leaving people themselves to make their own decision, So,
but they ain't doing that in China. In China, they show the people the good only. So,
well, China is our communist country. So,
well, what I saying is, I am arguing for the US, saying you can't filter in one place and not filter in another place. If you're going and let the app run wild, then let it run wild in your country too. I think that should be our option. Like, to tell them, okay, here's option number 1. You sell it to somebody in the US. Option number 2 is, okay, you could let the app run, but you see the Daijin one or the Dujin one or whatever it is, that is in your country, let that one run the same way to release the algorithm to us and let it run like that. Or we ban you. That would like make more sense.
So you're in favor of censorship then?
No, I am in favor of not censoring it. So that means in China, do the same, let it run wild as it is running for the rest of the world. Let the Chinese people see the good and the bad and let them choose what they want to watch.
Well, they could if they use a VPN.
Well, VPNs in China, you'll find somebody by your door knocking on it after that. That's kind of but with that piece of information, right? That there is censorship in China and there is no censorship for the rest of the world, then ByteDance is unfair. They are being sort of malicious in the way that they care about this.
Is the Douyin app also owned by ByteDance?
Yes. I'm watching the Wikipedia page right now.
Well, they could argue that, it's two different apps. One is TikTok, one is Douyin.
They could.
Just
they
TikTok.
could.
I don't think
But-
the TikTok
but
app
it
available in China though.
But
Is
yeah,
it?
but no. Its mainline counterpart is doing. So it just means that one company has two apps that do the exact same thing, but they're not the same. That ain't flying anywhere. Yeah. I don't think so. Well then China shoot themselves in the foot. If they said, listen, yeah, we have TikTok by us, and the exact same way it runs by you, it runs by us also. It just so happens that our population likes to watch educational things, because that's why I thought it was, That is why I was defending this to the and they want to say the US wrong and everything. But technically the US not wrong, because it's like you have a child, and your child, when they home by you telling them don't smoke weed and don't do drugs and all kind of thing. And then you are the principal of a school, and you're like, yeah, or they could do all they want inside the school, because you all are free thinkers and whatnot. But when you home, you telling your child, no. We don't subscribe to what those people do.
I think the US are hypocrites, because they want to come down on this. But how much trade deals is do with China? How much outsourcing raw materials and labor does do to China? If you want to treat China like this, why don't cut everything else off?
Well, that hypocrite argument going on a long time, Yeah, that is from since the 1970s. Them was like,
China is one of the biggest trade partners, trade and industry and whatever. But on the other side, you're trying to paint them as an enemy.
Correct. Yeah. That one is a geopolitical kind of issue, because they have frenemies, just like how Apple does buy screens from Samsung. It'd be like, well, where else we go get?
Nah, but I don't think Apple hate Samsung though.
Nah, I don't think they do.
There's more competitors, but
China. Yeah, China
US
and US, they have hate. They have hate genuinely.
They have a complex relationship.
No, okay. Well, I think I have a stance now. My stance is that ByteDance is wrong for not making TikTok be the same all over the world. And if I were the US, I would definitely feel, this is aside from Facebook and Instagram and all of them are collecting data and all that. From not from a data collection perspective, but just from a fair use or free speech perspective, ByteDance playing the game. They play in the game, and it looks bad from the outside that you make sure that your people always sort it out. But for us, we just have to be thrown to the ills of society and let the algorithm choose and show us all the bad things, because that's what people will genuinely want to watch, because mostly the bad things will come to the fore.
Yeah.
But then from the US perspective.
Sorry, that's one thing.
Go ahead.
That totally unrelated. So I have this Mac here, and I have another Mac here that are doing this stuff on, and I just realized the whole continuity thing. Like my mouse here, and I could just move to the screen with my mouse and do stuff here, and come back here and drag stuff in between. Okay.
So you didn't have it on all the time?
No, never. Yeah. Okay, we could continue.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I saying that from ByteDance perspective, that's a problem. But from the US perspective, here's where they are hypocritical. Because they are saying, no, we're not banning you, you just have to sell your company. You have to sell.
And why would they want them to sell to a US company? Because they want some type of control over the algorithm, over what people being exposed to, which is like the same thing China doing, a form of censorship. It wouldn't be to that same extreme, but I sure it will have certain things that you wouldn't be able to see as prominently.
But not Section 32. The Second Amendment or the First Amendment, well, whichever one of the amendments says you have the right to free speech, which is why Facebook and Instagram just get away with everything. Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube just get away with everything.
Yeah, but in the background, right? As I say, it has certain topics and videos you would see on TikTok prominently, but you wouldn't see it on those other platforms. What's the reason for that?
Reason for that is because in America, they like to choose which bad things are allowed and cherry pick which bad things you can do and which bad things you cannot do. Because the morality is based on what the people feel, not based on any sort of general compass. The morality is based on who's in power at the point in time.
Right.
That's the issue.
Yeah, so again, that's why they wanted to be a US company, so they could steer the morality based on what they think.
Yeah. All right. Yes, that is true. I cannot refute that. But who gonna buy it that they will, anybody in America could get it for the right amount of money, you could get anything done.
Elon Musk.
Well, boy, yeah. So according to the what the problems would happen is how they would enforce the ban, right? Due to the decentralized nature of the internet, enforcing a ban would be complex. The bill passed by the House would penalize app stores daily for making TikTok available for download, but for users who already have the app on their phones, it would be difficult to stop individual use. ISPs, internet service providers, could also be forced to block the IP addresses associated with TikTok, but such practices could be easily evaded by computer browsers using a VPN or private network, which reroutes computer connections to other locations. To fully limit access to TikTok, the US government would have to employ methods used by countries like Iran and China, which structure the internet in a way that makes its content restrictions more easily enforceable. So if they do ban it, basically, Google and Apple have to be like, yeah, we're not taking no fine to put this in the App Store. Or they could find it, or they could go and get it all they want. And because sideloading is going to become available in the EU, I guess. In the EU, sideloading will be available where you could install apps on Apple, yeah. People could still go to like our website, get the APK or get writers and download it and install it. Of course, it wouldn't be as big as it is, but do you think that the scarcity would drive people to say, you wanna make it bad? We're gonna like double down on it now and make sure that we get it. Or Americans would just be like, okay, cool, on to the next thing.
I think that both parties underestimating how much Gen Z does use TikTok. And about the election, yeah. And if they want like the younger people to come out and vote, I'm sure there's a hill some of them willing to die on. And it paints, and as I say, it paints them in a bad light in the sense that why you really want to ban TikTok? What's the real reason why you want to ban it? And when people would come to a certain conclusion and realize, they're trying, ultimately, as you say, to actually ban it to the extreme sense, they're going to have to do stuff like what Iran and China does do, so.
Which is control your internet.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're going to sell, most likely they'll have to sell it because they can't give up. That's such a big market. So whoever they sell it to will be like a US-based company that stores the data in the US. And wherever data centers are housed in the US, then they'll just put it there. And I think it will just fizzle out and be like, all right, TikTok is now owned by this conglomerate of people, this venture capital, set up people, yada, yada, yada. The data is now housed in the US and it could be proven nothing goes back to China. But how are you going to prove that it's not going back to China? Like, really? What going to happen is that whoever buys this is going to be the government's puppet and be like, yeah, we have to set up the routers, we have to set up the servers, we have to set up this, we have to set up all of that. Or they could still run it, but none of the data gets to go back to China. But ByteDance could still be I don't know. How ByteDance still getting money? No, ByteDance not getting any money or anything. ByteDance just selling it. But then what about the rest of the world? They had to create TikTok US, TikTok.us.
Yeah, because the rest of the world will be on the OG TikTok, original TikTok, and US alone will have their own TikTok.
Whoa.
Yeah, because weird, they would have their own TikTok, and because they don't want them to see our content, the rest of the world content, because that's where all the propaganda coming from. Or they'll have one TikTok and they'll just have some extreme content filter in place.
Look, this part of the article kind of interesting. TikTokers argue that US user data is not held in China but in Singapore and in the US, where it is routed through cloud infrastructure operated by Oracle, an American company. In 2023, TikTok opened a data center in Ireland where it handles EU citizens' data. So it doesn't matter if they open up data centers or anywhere and they prove that it's being stored there. They just want ByteDance to get their hand off of it, because if ByteDance has their hand on it, that means that Chinese have their hand on it. It's not owned by an American company who they could charge or who they could put before the Senate or anything like that.
Data is just I don't think that's the real crux of the matter. It's not data getting sent back. It's the content. It's what people getting exposed to. That's the real reason.
So they could control the content and tell you whatever propaganda they want to tell you. People could buy ads and things, just like Facebook, and you could fill it up with bots that will be able to spread propaganda to make sure somebody...
You remember 2-3 years TikTok in its heyday, right? What was the real draw to TikTok versus Instagram? Now that you could come to TikTok, and it feel more real, it feel more personal.
The dances, of course, it was the dancing.
And apart from that, it feel more real, more personal. It's not as polished as Instagram. You don't have to dress up and you don't have to be a whole production. You could come and you get more authentic content on TikTok. That was the whole appeal of TikTok. And that's why people, you don't need to be a big famous influencer with how much thousands of millions of followers. You could come and the algorithm real friendly in terms of it is promote good content no matter how much followers you have.
All right, I good there. Let me stretch it now to the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Before we stretch it to the Caribbean, so let me talk a little bit about if the Caribbean will be affected, and does the Caribbean even care, or we just will take it for whatever it is? Let go to that. That's all.
In today's digital age, every business needs a strong online presence to reach new customers and stay competitive. But not every business needs a complex website or a full-fledged e-commerce solution. At makeITsimpleTT, we understand that every business has unique needs, and we offer a range of tailored solutions to fit those needs. Over the years, we've helped many businesses. Our services include website design and development. We create a professional and user-friendly website like these that represent your brand and drives results. Invoicing and payment processing. We can streamline your billing process with a user-friendly invoicing system that integrates seamlessly with most payment gateways, and you can receive online payments easily. We also do automated order forms, which allows you to collect orders online and customer information effortlessly and send back automated emails, notifications, and reminders, and then you just have to make the sale at the end. So you can contact us today to learn more about how we can help make your business more successful, or you could visit makeITsimpleTT.com/business.
So we're talking about TikTok and the Caribbean. Let me hear what you want to say.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it like similar to what we was talking about just now. If the US get their way and they have a US version of TikTok, that means it not just the Caribbean, but leave the rest of the world on the outside. Or is it that they're gonna have one app, but then they're gonna filter content from the US out, that coming into the US out? How that dynamic going to work? Because a lot of the content we see right now on the For You page, well, according to how your algorithm built, if it's somebody who's interacting a lot with certain type of content, you would see a lot of local stuff. But like me, I see my mix is probably 90% to 10% local.
For the few
You
times
know?
that you do go on.
Yeah. So what would happen there? It'll be good to see in terms of which countries or which regions produce the most content on TikTok. And I'm pretty sure it's probably the US at the top of it. So the platform itself would probably suffer in terms of content. And I mean, it has some influencers that made a name on TikTok and that's the main source of income and whatever. Well, probably not in the Caribbean, but
plenty of people get popular because of TikTok. Rare people get popular because of TikTok in the Caribbean. Not as much as Instagram and not as much as Facebook. In any strong stretch, but that's a testament to basically how TikTok is viral and anybody could get a chance, right? Now, when these people hear that TikTok is banned in the US, and there's a US version of TikTok, but the international version is still the international version because every other country has to decide if they're going to do the same thing that the US did. We're not really going to get bothered too much, because our little niche market will be our little niche market. The only problem is the people who watch all the American content and watch all of the content from the different creators in the States, they're going to get vexed and they may not come back to the app. That's my concern. Like the people who like to watch the skits from whoever these people are and whoever this other person are, and the girls who like to watch the dances and all them kind of thing. Because there are a lot of people, especially children I kind of deal with, they say they hate Trini TikTok. They'll be like, I hate Trini TikTok, sir. I don't even, like, anytime I hear Trinidadian accents, I just scroll because I be like, so even, they're like, sir, sometimes you come up on my For You page too, but I'll scroll past. I ain't lying to you, because once I hear the accent, I'll just be like, I don't want to hear it. I just want to watch everything else. So they just watch a lot of the American content that is on TikTok. In the Caribbean, we love to consume their content. And that is where we're going to have some issues because they will lose a lot of viewership and people in the Caribbean ain't going to try to, ain't going to be on that TikTok vibe.
Yeah.
Because they don't have any reason to go there anymore because what they want to see, they're not seeing. And the Caribbean viewers, if it drop, then it ain't gonna make no sense to put Caribbean content.
Yeah. I mean, kind of, I don't want to go back, but our next reason I could see why they would probably want to do a ban on TikTok is kind of for the children and this generation are coming up, looking at TikTok and short form videos. It's real addictive, so if from a young age you on TikTok and you spending hours just scrolling on TikTok and, it's addictive in by its nature and you're just in that world, and you're not leaving room to, explore and do other stuff outside, learn and, interact, that type of thing. I know there's a kind of topic that you could go back to the next generation and look at video games or TV and stuff like that too, but I don't know.
I think plenty content creators gonna lose out. Yeah. They'll lose out real plenty because the eye is not gonna be there anymore.
Yeah.
Because on the off chance that somebody watching a bunch of US content and then they end up watching one of the Caribbean videos or one of the Caribbean people, then yeah. But if they're not going to the app on a daily basis, then the For You page still won't be able to show them anything now.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Okay. And then so for people who going through TikTok going out like you and myself, is this just it's just a natural progression where all right, TikTok is about to die. Let's see what comes up next.
I'm not sure what would come up next because I mean Instagram and Google try to do their own form of TikTok, but TikTok's still late probably. I'm not sure what would come next to take its place. I honestly, I want to see how it unfolds. I'm not sure this will actually get as far as to it being sold or being banned. You know, I want to see how it unfolds. I know, I ain't making no bets on that.
I think, yeah, I think we will just see the end of it, you know. Once the US start to control it, well, okay, it had two ways it could go. The US start to control it and it still be named TikTok. However, the US version of it will be the same kind of concept as the Chinese version of it, where they could sort of curate the content or make the content less objectionable by whatever law they want to put it, and it still be named TikTok, okay, then it will live. However, if this TikTok that comes up is a new brand of TikTok that is separate and apart, just like the Chinese version has a different name and the US version has a different name, that is where we screwed. That is it. It ain't much to come back to. That would be my final analysis. And for the creators in Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean, Instagram fit, boy.
That's even worse. I was opening Instagram less than TikTok. Probably once a week.
Wow, well. What else? What else you gonna do?
Yeah.
You gotta give Marky money, you know?
Yeah. To be honest, my social media usage like real on the decline these days.
Well, that's you. Them children and them, they live in. I feel Instagram will be able to take up the slack. No matter how trashy the interface is and how like scatterbrained they are in their strategy and all of that, if there is no TikTok, the only option you have is Instagram. Because they ain't opening Facebook. They might go back to Snapchat. Because I know there's a group or a following that use Snapchat still, and I'm not too sure how big that group is, but it's big enough that where the masses decide to go, it will have herd mentality, and the only place I could see the herd going is TikTok, right? It's Instagram now. But if it does happen, which I doubt it will happen, I just think that they will have the name TikTok, but anything that comes out of the US could be censored very heavily.
Things that coming into the US.
Yeah, coming into the US could be censored very heavily, and we won't be able to do anything about it. Well, the rest of the world, we'll just, be left there to die because we'll just see everything and every government for themselves. That's kind of weird. Like you could imagine that one app could take over all of the viewership in the world, and that our government have to decide that that we have to do something about what this one app is doing, which is allowing people to create content that works against our
narrative.
our narrative. Like when you say that out loud, I now say to myself, there's a different kind of control
that
is being exerted here. It's a real different kind of, we don't ever like to feel out of control, and right now we feel out of control, and you have to, I want to know what those 300 senators or House representatives saw that made them vote in such a high, I think I see a clip from our podcast, and they were like, okay, so we know about all of this drama before, but what did they see that made them vote in such a high, almost unanimous? What did they see? What was told to them? Did they show them some data centers? Did they show them some national secrets that were leaked or some kind of thing? Because normally, when the House votes on something, Israel tears 50-50, Democrats versus Republicans, you might have to get a swing vote and all kind of weird thing. But this one was damn, like almost near unanimous, and whatever they saw, I think we should see that. And be like, we're going on. Now we know why. Yeah. All right. Well, for the Caribbean TikTokers, yeah, count on the days, see how it goes. Anybody wants to chime in and let us know, you could leave a comment on the podcast or you could message us at makeITsimpleTT at redbit_tech. Next story is an AI software engineer. It's a YouTube video, so we're going to watch it and we're going to laugh. And we ain't going to laugh too much, but this is in our ballpark, so we have to ask some hard questions. So let's see how it goes.
Have you ever tried to order something online using a Visa debit card, but you can't? Is shopping online something you always do already using a Skybox, but sometimes you need advice on knowing what to buy or what will work? I'm Mr. Charles from makeITsimpleTT, and we aim to make technologies that solve problems in a Caribbean context. So we created Order It. What is it, you ask? What is Order It? It's an app and a website that helps you order it in two ways. The first way is if you already order things online. You're familiar with using a Skybox, you're familiar with using a credit card, but sometimes you don't always have answers to certain questions, like which laptops will get a warranty in Trinidad, which phones will work on the Digicel network or the mobile network. So our app helps you order it. Every product that we list in the app, we will let you know the truth based on the experience of 20 years of ordering things online and using various Skyboxes in Trinidad and Tobago. So here are some of the questions that the app answers for you based on the products that we list. What are the taxes? Why does it cost so much when I actually get it? What is dimensional weight? All these questions and more we answer in the app because we want to help you order it. All you have to do is simply pick from our list of recommended items that we know and trust because we've ordered it already. Follow through the payment process. We'll order it and we can even have it delivered to you. So why don't you give it a try? Search for Order It by makeITsimpleTT in the App Store or the Google Play Store, or you can even go online to orderit.makeITsimpleTT.com and check and see if we could answer some of your questions and help you in the process of ordering it.
All right, so there's an AI software engineer, and the video is sort of funny. Going to play the video now, and we may laugh, we may or may not laugh. Why did I... Okay. Did it change? Oh shucks, just now. I'll share the window instead of the tab. Because, of course, I'm a professional. Right. Yeah, cool. All right, let's take this.
Hey, I'm Scott from Cognition AI, and today I'm really excited to introduce you to Devin, the first AI software engineer. Let me show you an example of Devin in action. I'm going to ask Devin to benchmark the performance of Llama on a couple different API providers. From now on, Devin is in the driver's seat. First, Devin makes a step-by-step plan of how to tackle the problem. After that, it builds the whole project using all the same tools that a human software engineer would use. Devin has its own command line, its own code editor, and even its own browser. In this case, Devin decides to use the browser to pull up API documentation so that it can read up and learn how to plug into each of these APIs. Here, Devin runs into an unexpected error. Devin actually decides to add a debugging print statement. Reruns the code with the debugging print statement, and then uses the error in the logs to figure out how to fix the bug. Finally, Devin decides to build and deploy a website with full styling as the visualization. You can see the website here. All of this is possible today because of the advancements that we've made in both reasoning and long-term planning. It's a really hard problem, and we've only just started, but we're super excited about the progress that we've made so far. In the meantime, if you'd like to try out Devin on your own real-world tasks, send us a request below, and we'd be happy to forward it to Devin.
All right. No. Here is my problem.
Yeah.
That is too smart for comfort.
You think so?
Like, yeah, that requires you to troubleshoot a problem and come up with a solution, which is not what large language models purport to the large language models predict what to say next, and based on a data set, they tell you, well, here's what I think, or here's what I say, whatnot. They basically fabricate as much. It draws on as much data as possible to give you an answer, and where it can't give you an answer, it fabricates it and calls it thought. But in this case, Devin, whatever his name is, was able to troubleshoot code while checking a browser and accessing APIs. Now, each one of those could be done individually. You could write a prompt and get a prompt to give me the top 10 APIs to access and how to access them. Or you could write a prompt to say, create a website for me. Or you could write a prompt to say, what are the things that you could do to troubleshoot this code? But somewhere along the line, it prompting all three of them at the same time. Or going from one prompt to the next prompt to the next prompt with a high level of consistency based on that video.
Yeah.
That is actually problem solving, which is that's scary.
So the only thing I would say to add to that could kind of dial back some of the concern is that when you're doing a demo, it's be highly curated, and you could set it up in a way to show your best parts. So that demo could probably be like the best case scenario. The same like with a couple of weeks ago we was looking at Sora with the images. So that could probably like be like a particular scenario that you put it in, and this is the best possible outcome that you could get in that particular scenario. So it could be that built, to handle these specific types of scenarios well. So I mean, not downplaying it, it's pretty impressive, but for me to be like real concerned, I had to see it in action, doing a lot more things, a lot more complex things, like, because this is like a real specific task generally, right? But doing more complex things and, doing things on the fly and, more or less let somebody try to break it. Like, you could right now you could go to ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever, and you could really prompt it and, get into it and see how it would deal with certain things and, really get into it. I would like to see, and I mean it probably not at that stage as yet, but as you say, is impressive. Well, a little bit impressive as you would.
No, well, it's impressive that you could get a demo to even reach to that point.
Yeah.
That's where it get impressive for me, because to reach to the point where you could say, okay, guys, we have one test case demo that works properly. Let's use that. Just the fact that demo working, that's saying something that concerning.
Yeah.
You understand?
You have something to build up on. To scale.
Now, what it actually doing is not coding. It's doing problem solving, because right now, well, any large language model could do the coding for you and tell you where there are issues or where there are problems to a high degree, and then you could just jump in and fix whatever else you didn't get to fix, right? But what it's doing is problem solving, because problem solving, you see, the first thing it did was come up with a list of things that you have to do, the APIs that you want to use, the extensions, the add-ons, whatever it is you have to get. It was able to figure that out. And what I was saying as is that each one of those things could be done in silos. But when you have to merge those silos together, you need a human to be able to piece it together. It did that. And I want to believe that this is something a little different to regular prompt engineering. This is more along the lines of make the AI, prompt the AI, and they have to talk to each other. So I remember there was a video where they had ChatGPT talking to Bard, right? So they say they put in a prompt in in ChatGPT, and ChatGPT was accessing Bard's API or some one of them other APIs, and they were sending the messages back and forth to each other. And they had a conversation, and the conversation devolved into utter chaos because they didn't understand what they were saying, and you were like, what are they even saying? They started to talk about beach chairs, they started to talk about the umbrella, they started to talk about ants, all kind of things the conversation went to, because when they prompt each other, they feeding back garbage into each other, and eventually once one hallucination comes in place, then they will start to talk about the hallucination. This one, I don't know, it might be prompting properly, it might be asking the right questions to the right large language model, and they get the right response, and then taking action on it.
Yeah, so it's one thing to think about, and I think we discussed this like a couple of weeks ago, right? So this is Devin AI. It's a new company, something it probably look like a small group of people, I don't think it's much developers or whatever, right? Working on this software engineering AI. So you think that this small company is the first company to do something like this? And Google and ChatGPT do already have something that at least 2-3 years ahead of this, and it's just in the background.
yeah, they do. But as I was always say, smaller companies have very little to lose when it comes to releasing these things. Bigger companies have major stock to lose. Just like how Google had to stop the image generation because of the racial thing. Yeah, this small company, I'm gonna be like, this thing coding for you, sure, no problem. All right, cool. They sell it to 5 people, and the 5 people realize that it's trash. Those 5 people make an uproar on their social media, and then boom, 5 days later, version 2.0. They sell it to a different 5 people, and it's cool, no problem, because they figured it out. So I think the others would have figured it out, but it's too risky to get the AI to talk to the AI.
It's a real conundrum. You working on this project as a software engineer.
No, I read any comments right now.
On our product, I'm gonna take your job eventually. You created.
Yep. The first comment is, imagine losing your job because of an AI named Devin. And somebody generated an AI that will take his job.
Yeah.
That's tough. I feel there would be some limitations because the demo shows you this. There'd be some limitations as to what languages they could use and what frameworks that they could use. I feel it's most likely a bunch of HTTP and Python frameworks, because that's the most common things that you will have. HTTP websites with Python backends. That's basically what they're teaching you to use these days, because that's the most efficient way to have the most plugins, to have the most whatever else you think you need to have. And if it's narrowed down to that, then we didn't really had to worry too much, because it could only do data analytics and produce a website.
Yeah.
Creating a web app, I don't think you'll be able to do that.
As yet. If you go, say 15, 20 years ago, you needed a programmer to create a website. Now, you don't need no programmer to create a website. You could do WordPress, Weebly, or
Joomla and whatever it is.
Not Joomla, it's our next one. But 20 years ago.
Wix and them things?
Yeah, Wix. 20 years ago, you needed a programmer. Maybe next 5 years, you don't need a developer to create an app.
True.
So maybe you reach a point where you just talk your idea into existence. You just put it into a prompt. I want an app that could do this. Here's the app. When do you want to publish it into the App Store? Just sign in with your account, make the payments. But at that point, I know if it's so easy, I'm not sure you probably wouldn't need apps anymore.
Because we'll have it in our head. We'll have the chip in our brain.
Yeah.
We'll just be like, yeah, this is all in my head. I am quite fine and okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad that it exists. Aren't we all glad that it exists? Just, again, a little close to home. No longer a KFC worker, but it's now a software developer. But what will be the key takeaway is whoever could use this software the best is the one that will keep their job. Because if it have a team of 5 people, you better be the man that could use Devin the best and produce results.
Yeah, but like you say, you have a manager, or whatever, and you have 5 people, right? I could get rid of 2, I could get rid of 3, I could get rid of one of them. And that's hire somebody that good at the, as you say, somebody that good at prompting.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. So before you fire me, I'm gonna say, did you know I did a course on Devin? Here, come, let me show you this. Before you go and put out an ad for a new developer, let me show you what we could do with this thing. Matter of fact, I go into my boss and be like, yeah, about Devin? Yeah, come, let me talk about it now. Yeah, don't worry about Corey and Jimmy down in the corner there. School.
We don't need them no more.
Yeah, I ain't telling you we don't need them. I'm just telling you that we could use this, and I've been reading up on it because if
you know what Devin need to do? For Devin to be successful, Devin need to be cheaper than hiring an Indian developer.
That is wisdom. Yeah. That is wisdom, yeah. Yep. Once you could do that, yeah. Or on par. Not cheaper, on par. Because you ought to be able to say, yes, we charge the same as these Indian developers, but we'll get done in half the time. Yeah. If you could do that, because I heard of some Indian developers that was drag on some projects, something, but
yeah. You have to find any good ones in anything you do. You have to find, top people that really good and people that.
All right, I go and monitor this. I go and file a little notification to check out Devin. I'll go and follow them on social media and see. Yeah. I'll follow them and see what they're doing, because I think it's cool. And I would want to learn about it, because I want to tell my developer, here what's going on, start to learn about this one time, just in case. Because I don't want to fire you. I want you to be able to do things faster. So let me see what we could do. All right, time for a random story. Let's go. Random story is, let's see. That's not, I press refresh. Gosh, boy. All right, Samsung E55 versus E54. Okay, there's the new 55 versions. Apple's M1 MacBook Air is down to an all-new low-time price M1. I was just fixing our M1 MacBook today. Apparently the beach ball does still come up when you do certain things. I thought it was like the mother of all machines, but it still moves slow sometimes.
Yeah.
Nah, they really rate it up, but the beach ball is a thing. It's a thing. Apple revamp CarPlay becomes, plenty of Apple news by Blue Beams Rain. Bloodborne is making a comeback. That's a game. A ChatGPT for music is here. Inside soon. Only startup changing everything. Nope. Pokemon Go extends Primal going up. Someone has finally found a use for NES expansion port. Nope. Apple's M3 MacBook Air loses 50% of its performance when used in. Wow, they're really reporting on Apple, boy. Space dining for 500 million. Oh, you see the spaceship that they have the space hotel? Okay. Let me see if I get an article that will open up. Yeah, $500 million. And you could go and dine in the stratosphere. Deep-pocketed, you're laughing. Watch this. Deep-pocketed food space lovers will soon be able to enjoy gourmet dining in the stratosphere, at least if they are willing to pay $500,000 a ticket. And less than 24 hours after the trip was announced, many people have already asked where they can sign up. Space VIP, a luxury space travel company, has hired a Danish chef from a Michelin-starred restaurant for the 6-hour high-tech space balloon trip, which is set to debut next. 6 hours in the air, and you going to be in the stratosphere and dying.
You know what this remind me of? Them billionaires who went in the submarine.
Hey, if you at least you die with good food. At least you die with good food. They going up in the air here. What? Why? Why, boy? But no, that people are really just have money that they have nothing to do with.
I mean, 500,000 is nothing for some. Like if he is a billionaire, 500,000 is not much.
Yeah. That's what you spend. That what the Indian man spend on the party.
Yeah.
The other day.
Now him so little bit. He spent 6 million on Rihanna alone.
Yeah. It's 500. Yeah. Oh shucks. Yeah, actually it's a real little bit in true.
Yeah, 500,000.
500,000.
Yeah.
That is $500,000. Whoa. Yeah, if you spend $6 million for Rihanna to come, you could easily pay $6 million and carry up
12 people.
12 people, yeah. Carry up 12 people. Yeah, I think it's only it only has 6 spaces or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But these technologies, I think people kind of exhaust the sort of things that you could do on Earth, and they're like,
if I had that type of money, I would invest it in life preservation rather than try to push things to the edge. You know, like I would.
Well, it depends on your view on life. If they have a worldview where all right, you had to die, so live fast, die, and or YOLO, you only live once, so do whatever you had to do, or they have a life view of I want to live forever. They could spend their money otherwise, but as it stands right now, I think they're just going to be like, I want to live.
Yeah.
I want to spend my money that I made from all these drugs.
Not all billionaires, some billionaires. Anyway, I can't put my hand on a block for nobody.
Well,
you know,
yeah, because I know going to tell you. Go ahead now, talk, man.
Yeah,
talk. Yeah,
maybe.
You know everybody. Yeah.
Nah, maybe if you're close to the, like, you know, you live your life already, yeah, you could do something like this. But now, at this point in my life, I would do something like that.
Nah, I can't see myself. But it has some people, like, you know, it has some people that could just be like, I'm feeling for Chinese food, let me go and buy Chinese food. But then there are some people who could feel for Chinese food and they can't even think about even affording it right now because of their status. Right? This is just feeling for Chinese food from a billionaire perspective. Like,
nah, not. I mean, from a billionaire's perspective, it could be, yeah, I feel for Chinese food, let me go to China. Let me catch a flight and go to China. This is a totally different.
This getting close. It's getting real close. I'm feeling for Chinese food. I want to eat it in the stratosphere. Let me go and do it.
Nah, this is next level.
I can't. Like if I'm feeling for a gyro, I just had to think twice. I'd be like, them gyro and them expensive now.
Yeah,
but if I feel...
I might be taking a chance. I might get robbed.
All of that, yeah. Them and studying now. Them will be like, when is the next flight? Okay, cool. All right. Well, yeah, you can dine in the stratosphere. Good for them. All right, that takes us to the end of today's episode.
I was gonna say, hopefully, Boeing don't have anything to do with it.
No, you're wild. Yeah, you're wild in there. All right, recap for today's episode. TikTok may get banned or sold. Most likely sold. TikTok ban in the Caribbean. We kind of realized that the Caribbean are really going to beat up too much, except for the fact that you may not be able to see US content as you want to. But we'll see how that works out. And the AI software engineer, we looked at it and we think it's cool. It's pretty cool. It just may have been a very, very good demo. You never know. But we are thankful for the revolution in AI. And if you are a developer, remember, don't learn to code. Learn to use the AI that can code for you. that is definitely what your job is going to be like.
Yeah.
All right, so my
mean,
name is...
wait.
go ahead.
You have to start to rethink your whole profession. You
Oh,
teaching
yeah.
people to do an obsolete skill. That's going to be
Yes,
obsolete.
Obviously, I am. The only problem is I am burdened by the Caribbean Examinations Council that sets the
Yeah.
syllabus. So when they make the next syllabus change, they better put some component of AI inside of that syllabus, because right now there is zero AI in the syllabus. And they just take a whole 10 years to refresh the syllabus. By the time they refresh that syllabus again,
Yeah, time.
I have job security for the next few years, but I should start to learn it from now, because once they
Yeah.
put that in the syllabus, I could see every teacher, especially older ones, balling and be like, what? They had to teach AI now? Whatever happened to good old C, printf, scanf? Wow, they're really taking away the fundamentals from these children, boy. I really pray I do become one of them. I really can't be that guy. Not me. All right, you can find me at makeITsimpleTT anywhere on the internet. That's not LinkedIn, because I promise you, my LinkedIn account is the driest place in the world right now. And I had all these ambitions, but it ain't working out. I really wish I have to get my content moderator. He's basically upload all the videos to the different places. I just had to figure out how to schedule to LinkedIn, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, anywhere else besides LinkedIn at makeITsimpleTT. And you can find my co-host at
Redbit Tech, that's Redbit_tech. On most places too, sometimes.
not TikTok, because TikTok is going away and he smelled it. That is why he stopped. I tell you, we gone there. It was a nice one. You can send us a message at any point in time and we will be hopefully replying to you. Yeah, later.